Hello and welcome to the Physics at Night. I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're lying down in bed with the light dimmed low, slowly melting into your pillow, or curled on the couch, letting your mind float like a leaf on still water, this space is for you. Tonight we begin something quietly astonishing. We'll drift into the world of motion. Not just how things move, but why nothing, not the ground beneath you, not the stars above you, not even the atoms in your breath, is ever truly still. The story of cosmic motion isn't just science, it's poetry folded into the laws of the universe. It's about the comfort of being a passenger, the safety of being carried by gravity, and how you can be travelling thousands of miles per hour while lying perfectly still. Now, I should gently warn you. This tale may soothe you so well you won't hear the end. But if it keeps your mind glowing a bit too long, I promise that even wakefulness can be restful when filled with wonder. If you find peace in this moment, I'd be grateful if you gave this video a quiet like and maybe subscribe for more dreamy science. And if you're comfortable, I'd love to know where you're listening from and what time it is there. Your words light up a map of bedtime from around the world, a constellation of rest. As always, this story is for relaxation and gentle education only. It is not a substitute for a medical advice or professional care, just a safe harbour to fall asleep with curiosity. Now, let's begin. Your body feels still tonight. Your breathing is slow. The room is quiet, and the bed beneath you feels anchored, solid, and immovable. It all feels so consistent, so absolute. But what if I told you that feeling is an illusion, a beautiful, comforting trick of physics? While you lie there, apparently doing nothing, you're actually embarking on a massive journey. Motion is not just about running or driving. It is the fundamental state of existence, and your body, your house, this planet, they are all ships sailing together on a smooth, silent ocean of empty space. It sounds busy, but feel it with me instead. Imagine you're on a train with the curtains drawn. The tracks are so smooth, the engineering so perfect that you cannot feel the speed. You can set a glass of water on the table and it won't ripple. You're moving fast, but you feel at rest. That is exactly where you are right now. The Earth is that train. And gravity is the force holding you safely in your seat. You see, the universe never stops. It spins, it orbits, it expands. But because everything moves together, because the air moves with you and the ground moves with you, you are granted the gift of stillness. This isn't just mechanics, it's a kind of cosmic permission. It means you don't have to carry the world is already carrying you. So take a deep breath, drop your shoulders, and let's explore the physics of this silent flight. As you lie there, perfectly relaxed, let your attention drift slowly downward. Feel the weight of your body pressing into the mattress. Your arms are resting heavy by your sides. Your legs are still. The air in the room hangs motionless, and the shadows on the wall do not flicker. If I asked you in this quiet moment, "Are you moving?" your answer would be a simple, instinctive no. To your senses, stillness is real. It feels like a lack of activity. It feels like the absence of work. It feels like the pause button has been pressed on the world, and you are floating in a vacuum of zero momentum. But in the language of the universe, stillness is not an absence. It is an agreement. When you say, "I am still," what you are really saying is, I am moving at exactly the same speed as my bed, and your bed is moving at exactly the same speed as the floor, and the floor is moving at exactly the same speed as the foundation of the building, and the foundation is anchored to the crust of the earth. You are locked in a silent embrace with your environment. You are holding hands with the room, matching its velocity perfectly, atom for atom. Imagine for a moment that you are sitting in a luxury cabin on a high-speed train. The curtains are drawn tight, blocking out the world outside. The rails beneath the wheels are made of polished glass, perfectly seamless, stretching out for thousands of miles. The train is gliding forward at 300 miles per hour, but the engineering is flawless. There is no vibration, no sound, no bumps, no swaying. If you were to place a cup of water on the table in front of you, the surface of the water would be flat. Not a single ripple would disturb it. If you held a coin in your hand and dropped it, it would fall straight down, landing exactly at your feet. Inside that cabin, with your eyes closed, you would swear on your life that you were stationary. You would feel stopped. This is the first great lesson of physics, taught to us by Galileo and later refined by Einstein. It is called inertial motion. It means that smooth, constant motion is physically indistinguishable from rest. Your body is an incredible machine, but it has one specific limitation. It cannot feel speed. It can only feel changes in speed. You feel the acceleration when a car takes off from a stoplight, pressing you back into the seat. You feel the deceleration when it brakes, pulling you forward. You feel the turn, you feel the bump. But the cruising, the smooth, straight, uninterrupted cruising, that feels like nothing at all. And right now, you are cruising. We tend to think of the ground beneath us as the stage where everything happens, the solid, unmoving foundation of reality. We build our houses on it and call them real estate. We drive anchors into it. We trust it to stay put. But the earth is not a stage. It is a vessel. It is a ship sailing through a sea of emptiness, and it is not a slow ship. As you breathe in and out, counting the seconds, in that single breath, the room you are lying in has travelled miles. We are all passengers on a sphere that is hurtling through the dark at speeds that would tear a machine apart if it hit an atmosphere. But because we are inside the atmosphere, because the air in your room is travelling with you, because the clouds above your roof are travelling with you, there is no wind, there is no rush of air, there is no sonic boom, there is just this quiet, heavy peace. This is the miracle of our existence. We are shielded from our own speed. If you could stick a pin in the fabric of space to mark exactly where you were when you laid your head down on the pillow tonight, and then you woke up 8 hours later, you would be millions of miles away from that pin. You will never be in the same place twice. The universe does not have a rewind button. It does not even have a pause button. It creates the illusion of a pause for you so that you can rest, but the journey continues. Does that thought make you feel small, or does it make you feel light? To me, it feels like permission. We spend so much of our waking lives trying to get somewhere. We rush to appointments, we rush to finish projects, we rush to achieve goals. We feel that if we stop moving, we are failing. We feel that we are stagnant. We worry that we are falling behind. But physics tells us that stagnation is impossible. Even when you're doing absolutely nothing, even when you're in the deepest sleep, totally unconscious, totally unproductive, totally still, you're travelling across the galaxy. You're on a great voyage. You don't need to drive the ship. You don't need to check the map. You don't even need to look out the window. The motion is guaranteed. It is a gift of momentum given to you before you were born, and it will carry you long after you're gone. So this feeling of stillness you have right now, cherish it. It is a rare illusion. It is a special, protected pocket of local reality where the forces of the universe have balanced out perfectly just for you. Gravity pulls you down. The bed pushes you up. The atmosphere presses in. Your blood pressure pushes out. The friction of the floor holds the bed. The inertia of the earth carries the floor. Everything is cancelling everything else out to create this 0 point, this quiet center. It is like the eye of a storm. The storm is the galaxy spinning, the solar system flying, the planet turning. But here, in your bedroom, in the center of the eye, it is calm. You are the stillness at the center of the speed, and this shared motion is what connects us. It is a very lonely thought to imagine we are still. If we were truly still, we would be stranded. But we are moving together. Everyone you love, everyone you have ever met, everyone listening to this voice right now. We're all on the same train. We're all moving together, locked in this same inertial frame, protected from the cold wind of the cosmos by the delicate bubble of our atmosphere. So you can rest now. You don't have to move, because the earth is doing it for you. You don't have to hold on, because gravity has you. Think of how much energy you spend trying to control things, trying to steer your life, trying to manage the day. It is exhausting work, being the captain of your own soul. But tonight, you are not the captain. You are the cargo. And I mean that in the most beautiful way possible. You are precious cargo, wrapped in blankets, safe in the hold of the ship. The engines of the universe are running. They are silent, efficient, and powerful. They require no maintenance from you. You can take your hands off the wheel. You can take your foot off the gas. The momentum is already there. It is carrying you toward the morning. It is carrying you toward the sun. It is carrying you toward the future. You can just lie there, weightless in your mind, heavy in your body, traveling through the stars without lifting a finger. Feel the mattress rising up to meet you. That is the earth, pressing against your back, reminding you that it is there. It is solid, it is moving, and it is taking you with it. So let the illusion of stillness wrap around you like a warm blanket. Let the secret knowledge of your speed comfort you. You are going somewhere. You're always going somewhere. And for now, the best way to travel is to sleep. If you were to walk outside right now and lie down on the grass staring up at the obsidian glass of the night sky, you would notice something profound. If you watched for long enough, patiently tracking a single bright star near the edge of a tree line or a rooftop, you would see it move. Slowly, imperceptibly, the entire dome of the heavens slides from east to west. The constellations rise, arc high over your roof, and eventually dip below the horizon. It looks for all the world like the universe is spinning around you. For thousands of years, our ancestors believed that was exactly what was happening. They believed the earth was the heavy, unmoving center of reality, a stone floor that never shifted. They believed the sky was a painted sphere, a celestial toy turning gently around us to keep us entertained in the dark. It was a comforting thought. It made us feel important. It made us feel stable. But we know now that the stars are not moving. We are. Right now, as you lie in your bed, deeply supported by the mattress, the room you are in is tilting backward. Imagine the earth not as a rock, but as a great, slow carousel. It is massive, heavy, and silent. It takes 24 hours to make one full majestic circle. That sounds slow, doesn't it? 24 hours to turn around once. It sounds lazy. But because the carousel is so incredibly large, the speed at which you are actually moving is breathtaking. If you're listening to this somewhere near the equator, you are currently spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. That is faster than the speed of sound. You're riding the edge of a supersonic sphere, hurtling eastward into the sunrise. You're travelling faster than a commercial jet, faster than a bullet, spinning through the vacuum of space. But here is the magic of physics. You don't feel the wind. You don't feel the rush. You don't feel the G-force pressing you against the wall. You don't feel it because the atmosphere, the air in your room, the clouds floating above your house, the wind outside your window is moving with you. It is a protective blanket wrapped tight around the planet by gravity, spinning in perfect synchronization with the ground. We're inside a bubble of calm, moving at supersonic speeds, yet feeling nothing but the softness of the sheets. Think of sleep not as turning off, but as rotating into the shadow. We often speak of the night falling as if darkness is a heavy curtain that drops down from the sky. But darkness doesn't fall. Darkness is just the shadow of the earth itself. When you feel tired at night, it is because your body knows where it is on the ride. Your biology is synchronized to the spin of the rock. Deep inside your brain, there is a tiny cluster of cells called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. It is a beautiful name for a beautiful thing. It is your internal clock. It does not tick like a watch. It flows like a tide. This clock is hardwired to the rotation of the planet. For billions of years, life on Earth has evolved to this rhythm of light and dark. When the Earth turns you away from the sun, when the great shadow of the horizon sweeps over your city, this clock signals your body to release chemistry. It whispers to your cells, "We have entered the shadow. It is time to rest." So your sleep is not just a personal choice, it is a planetary event. You are synchronizing with the angular momentum of the Earth. You are agreeing to turn your back on the star that gives us life, just for a few hours. You are trusting that the wheel will keep turning and that it will bring you back to the light in the morning. It is an act of faith, repeated every single night. You close your eyes, you let go of the world, confident that the rotation will carry you safely through the dark and deliver you to tomorrow. And it isn't just the spin. The Earth breathes. If you've ever stood near the ocean, you know this. Twice a day the water rises and falls. We call it the tide, but it is really a bulge, a mountain of water pulled upward by the gravity of the moon. As the Earth spins, the continents crash into this mountain of water and then pass through it. The water rushes up the beaches, fills the estuaries, and then slowly recedes. But it isn't just the water. The ground beneath you feels solid, but it is actually elastic. Rock is not as hard as we think. Even the solid crust of the Earth rises and falls about 30 centimetres, roughly 1 foot, every time the moon passes overhead. Right now, as you lie there, the entire house is being gently lifted by the moon and then slowly, softly lowered again. You don't feel it, because the foundation rises with you, the bed rises with you, the air rises with you. But it is happening. It is a slow, cosmic rocking motion that has been soothing the planet for 4 billion years. There is a lullaby in the physics of this. Rock-a-bye baby on the treetop. The tree is the earth, the wind is the ether, and the cradle is gravity. You are never truly still. You are always being rocked. This is why we find rhythmic motion so comforting. It is why we rock babies to sleep. It is why we like the feeling of a hammock, or a boat on a calm lake, or the gentle vibration of a train car. Our bodies remember the spin. We remember the tide. We know, deep in our bones, that motion is the state of safety. To be moving is to be alive. To be moving is to be held by the forces of the universe. So as you settle deeper into the mattress, imagine that you can feel that subtle rotation. Imagine the room tilting gently backward, reclining into the dark. Imagine the eastern horizon dipping down, falling away from the sun, carrying you into the cool, quiet shade of the planet. You're not just lying in a bed in a room, you're a passenger on the most magnificent vessel ever built. It is large enough to hold oceans, yet smooth enough not to spill a drop of water. It is fast enough to chase the dawn, yet steady enough to let you sleep without stirring. The engines of this ship are silent. The momentum is perfect. There is no turbulence in the forecast. You can hand over the controls. You can stop trying to steer the day. The rotation has taken over. Round and round we go. A slow, steady, eternal circle. The shadow covers you now. The sun is on the other side of the world, warming the backs of other people, waking them up, starting their day. But here, on this side, your job is done. You have rotated into the rest zone. Let the gravity hold you. Let the spin carry you. You are safe in the motion. Let's drift further out now. Let's leave the room. Let's leave the house. Let's float up through the ceiling, past the roof, up through the clouds, and leave the atmosphere entirely. If we could float in the quiet vacuum of space and watch the Earth from a distance, we would see that it isn't just spinning like a top. It is racing. We are chasing the sun. The Earth moves around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour. Take a moment to let that number sink in. 67,000 miles per hour. That is fast enough to cross the entire Atlantic Ocean in minutes. It is a speed so great that if you were driving a car that fast down a highway, the scenery would not just be a blur, it would be invisible. The world would streak past you in lines of light. But in space, there is no scenery. There are no mile markers to count. There are no trees rushing past the window. There is no wind rushing against the hull of the ship. There is just the quiet, endless vacuum. This is why this incredible motion feels like stillness to us. In space, speed is silent. Speed is smooth. We are flying in a perfect ellipse, banking around the sun, held in place by an invisible tether of gravity. We are falling around the star that warms us, caught in a graceful, eternal dance that has been going on for 4.5 billion years. But here is the secret that changes everything. Here is the thought that might just make you feel like a true traveller tonight. The sun is not standing still either. In school, we are often shown a simple model of the solar system. We see the sun sitting in the middle like a heavy yellow king on a throne, stationary and unmoving, and we see the planets running in neat, flat circles around it, like obedient servants. But that model is a lie, or at least it is a massive oversimplification. The sun is a traveller too. The sun is a star, and like all stars in our galaxy, it is drifting. It has its own journey. It has its own destination. If you could zoom out far enough, far beyond the orbit of Pluto, far out into the interstellar dark, you would see something breathtaking. You would see the sun flying forward like a comet, blazing a trail through the galaxy, and you would see the Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn not just circling it, but spiraling behind it. We are being dragged through the cosmos. We're not running in closed circles. We're spiraling forward in a corkscrew shape. We're tracing a DNA helix through the stars. Imagine a leaf caught in a whirlwind. The leaf is spinning around and around a center point, but the whirlwind itself is moving across a field. That is us. We are the leaf, the sun is the whirlwind, and the galaxy is the field. We are falling through the Milky Way at 500,000 miles per hour. That is a number too big to really comprehend. 500,000 miles every single hour. And we are headed toward a specific point. Astronomers call it the solar apex. We're flying toward the constellation Hercules near the bright star Vega. Every second that you lie there in your bed, every single heartbeat, you are 500 miles closer to that destination than you were a moment ago. This means something profound about your life. It means that you will never be in the same place twice. We often feel like our lives are repetitive. We wake up in the same bed, we go to the same job, we walk the same streets. We feel like we are running in circles. But physics tells us that is impossible. You have never been in this part of the galaxy before. Yesterday, when you went to sleep, the Earth was millions of miles away from where it is right now. The space you occupied yesterday is gone, left far behind in the dust of the cosmos. We are nomads. The entire human race is a caravan of travellers, riding a blue wagon, hurtling through new regions of space that no one has ever seen before. The universe does not have a rewind button. It does not even have a pause button. It is a river that flows only one way, forward. Does this constant, unstoppable speed make you feel anxious, or does it make you feel light? To me, there is a deep, resonant philosophy in this physics. If the ground is always moving, if the sun is always flying, if the galaxy is always turning, then holding on is impossible. You cannot anchor yourself. There is no post to tie your boat to. There is no harbour where the water stops moving. And if you cannot anchor yourself, you might as well let go of the rope. Relax your grip on the day. Relax your grip on your worries. Relax your grip on the idea that you need to be in control of your position. You're not driving this ship. You never were. You're a passenger on a vessel so large, so ancient, and so perfectly balanced that you can sleep through the wildest ride in the universe without spilling a drop of water. The galaxy is holding you. The sun is guiding you. The earth is carrying you. All you have to do is trust the motion. Drift with it. Imagine yourself floating in that vast, dark river of stars. You don't need to swim. The current is strong, and it knows exactly where it is going. We are all moving together. The people in the room next to you, the people on the other side of the world, the birds in the trees, the fish in the deep ocean. We're all huddled together on this little raft, silently speeding toward the star Vega. There is a camaraderie in that, a silent agreement to travel together. So, as you feel the mattress beneath you, remember that it is not just a bed. It is a seat on the observation deck. You're moving through the dark, protected by layers and layers of gravity, like a pearl inside a shell, inside a box, inside a ship. The journey is long. We have millions of years left to go. There is no rush to get to Hercules, so you can sleep. You can close your eyes and let the stars streak past the windows of the world. And as we move through space, we're also moving through something else. Something even more mysterious. Something that we feel but can never quite touch. We're moving through time. But what is time? Is it a line? Is it a loop? Or is it just another kind of distance that we are travelling across? Let's turn the page and find out. We tend to think of time as a container. We imagine it as a long, empty hallway that we are walking down. The past is the hallway behind us, dark and closed off. The future is the hallway ahead, dim, and uncertain, and the present moment is just where our feet happen to be standing. But physicists don't see time as a hallway. They don't see it as a container that things sit inside. They see it as a verb. Time is not a place. Time is an action. It is something the universe does. Think about the sand in an hourglass. It sits in the top bulb, waiting. Why does it fall? It falls because gravity pulls it. It moves from up to down. It changes its position. If you took away the gravity, the sand would float. It would stop falling. The time inside the hourglass would effectively stop. This is the secret that changes how we feel about waiting. Time is just a way of measuring change. If absolutely nothing in the universe changed, if every atom stopped vibrating, if every planet stopped spinning, if every photon of light froze in mid-air, then time would cease to exist. There would be no tomorrow, because tomorrow is just a word for after things have moved. So when you feel like you are lying there waiting for sleep, you're not actually waiting. You're participating in a massive physical process. Your heart is beating, pushing blood through miles of vessels. Your cells are repairing themselves, knitting together the wear and tear of the day. The air in the room is cooling slightly, molecule by molecule. You're surfing a wave of constant microscopic motion. We often wish we could pause time. We wish we could freeze a perfect moment or stop the clock when we are tired. But to pause time would be to pause life. To stop the flow would be to stop the healing. So do not fight the passage of the minutes tonight. Do not look at the clock and worry that it is moving too fast. Each minute that passes is just the universe settling into a more comfortable position. It is the cosmos sighing with relief. There is a direction to this movement. You have probably noticed that time only goes one way. You have never seen a broken egg uncrack itself and seal back into a perfect shell. You've never seen a spilled cup of coffee gather itself up from the floor and rush back into the mug. You have never seen a ripple on a pond travel inward and disappear into a smooth surface. This is called the arrow of time, and it is driven by a concept called entropy. Entropy is a heavy word, but its meaning is actually very gentle. It just means unwinding. The universe started as a tightly wound spring at the Big Bang, full of energy, structure, and tension. And for the last 14 billion years, it has been slowly uncoiling, relaxing, spreading out. It is much easier to have a messy room than a tidy one. It is much easier to have a broken egg than a whole one. The universe naturally moves toward the state that requires the least amount of effort to maintain. So time moves forward because the universe is constantly trying to get more comfortable. It is trying to relax, and you are part of that relaxation. When you exhale, you are releasing heat. You are spreading energy out into the room. You're helping the universe uncoil. When you let your muscles soften, you are aligning yourself with the arrow of time. You're doing exactly what the stars and the galaxies are doing. You are moving from a state of high tension to a state of low tension. Sleep is your personal entropy. It is the moment you stop building, stop organizing, stop fighting against the chaos, and just let things settle. There is a beautiful idea in relativity that treats time as a dimension, just like length, width, and height. Imagine for a moment that you're driving a car across a vast, perfectly flat salt flat. You can drive north or you can drive east. If you drive purely north, you're using all your speed to go north. You're making 100% progress in that direction. If you turn and drive east, you're using all your speed to go east. But if you drive northeast, you are sharing your speed. You're moving a little bit north and a little bit east. You aren't going as fast in either direction as you could be because you are splitting your resources. Einstein discovered that space and time work the exact same way. We're all moving through a four-dimensional world called space-time, and we're all moving at a constant speed, the speed of light. That sounds impossible, I know. You're lying in bed. You aren't moving at the speed of light, but you are. You're moving through the combination of space and time at the speed of light. That is your total cosmic budget. You cannot go faster and you cannot go slower, but you can choose how to spend that budget. If you move very fast through space, like a rocket ship blasting off toward Mars, you're using up a lot of your speed budget on motion. That means you have less speed left over to move through time. This is why time slows down for astronauts. They are spending their budget on distance, so they travel through time more slowly than the rest of us. But right now, look at you. You're lying perfectly still. You're not moving through space. Your budget for spatial motion is almost zero. That means that all of your cosmic speed, every single bit of it, is being channeled into motion through time. You are hurtling toward tomorrow with everything you have, and that is a good thing. It is a wonderful thing. It means you are traveling toward the future at maximum efficiency. You are moving toward the sunrise as fast as the laws of physics allow. It means you are healing at top speed. It means you are growing at top speed. It means you're getting closer to the moment you wake up refreshed, faster than if you were up running around. You are a time traveler. You just happen to be taking the scenic route, 1 second at a time, with your eyes closed. So let the machinery of the universe do its work. We often feel like we need to push time forward. We wait for a phone call, tapping our fingers. We wait for a fever to break. We wait for the morning to come. We feel that if we worry hard enough, we can make the clock tick faster. But the clock does not need your help. The machinery of the cosmos is heavy, oiled, and perfect. It has been ticking since the moment of the first light, and it has never missed a beat. It will carry you to the morning whether you worry about it or not. You're like a passenger on a great ocean liner crossing the sea at night. You can pace the deck, anxious about when you will arrive. You can stand at the bow and try to push the wind, or you can go to your cabin. You can lie down in the soft swaying bunk. You can trust the captain. You can trust the engine. The ship moves at the same speed either way. The destination draws closer at the same rate. The only difference is your peace. So let the mud settle in the glass. Let the day sink to the bottom. Time is not running out. Time is flowing through you, washing away the debris of the past, carrying you toward a new shore. You're travelling through the night at the perfect speed. You're exactly where you need to be in the timeline. Just lie back, close your eyes, and let the river flow. We grow up believing that right now is a universal truth. We imagine that there is a giant master clock somewhere in the cosmos, perhaps sitting on the mantle of the universe, ticking away the seconds for everyone, everywhere, all at once. We think that a second on Earth is the same as a second on Mars, or a second in the dark, cold void between the galaxies. We believe that time is a steady, unshakable grid, and that we're all moving across it together in perfect lockstep. But this is an illusion. There is no master clock. There is no universal now. Time is not a grid. It is a landscape. It has hills and valleys. It has fast currents and slow eddies. It stretches in some places and it bunches up in others. Time is local. It is a private experience. It belongs to you and to the specific point in space where you are currently resting. Albert Einstein taught us that time is flexible. It is not a rigid ruler. It is like molasses or honey. It flows, but its speed depends on the temperature of the universe around it. And the thing that changes the temperature of time is gravity. Gravity, you see, doesn't just pull on rocks and oceans. It doesn't just hold the moon in the sky or keep your feet on the floor. Gravity pulls on time itself. Imagine time is a thick golden syrup. Near a massive object, like the Earth, the syrup gets thicker, it gets heavy, it flows slower. So, down here on the surface, where you're lying right now, gravity is strong. The Earth is a massive object and it is pulling on you with all its might. But it is also pulling on the seconds ticking by in your room. Because you are deep in the gravity well of the planet, your time is flowing slower than it is for someone floating out in space. It is a strange thought, isn't it? That your feet, which are closer to the centre of the Earth, are aging slightly slower than your head. The difference is so tiny it is immeasurable to the human senses, but to the laws of physics, it is absolute. If you were to climb to the top of a high mountain, Mount Everest perhaps, and sit there for a year, you would age slightly faster than your friend who stayed down at sea level. The air up there is thin, yes, but the gravity is also just a tiny bit weaker. The grip of the Earth is looser, and so time runs just a little bit freer. Down here, near the ocean, near the valleys, we are wrapped in a blanket of slow time. We're held in a gravitational embrace that literally slows down the ticking of the universe. This isn't just a theory written on a chalkboard. It is a reality that our technology has to deal with every single day. Consider the GPS satellites that orbit high above the planet. They guide your car to the grocery store. They help planes land in the fog. They are precise machines, but these satellites are floating 12,000 miles up. They are far away from the heavy pull of the ground. Up there, gravity is weak. Up there, time flows faster. For a satellite, a second is shorter than it is for you. If the engineers who built them didn't account for this, if they didn't mathematically program the satellites to slow down their internal clocks to wait for us, the entire system would fail within minutes. The maps would drift. The locations would be wrong. You would be lost. So every time you look at a map on your phone, you're holding proof in your hand that time is not a constant river. You're holding proof that time is heavy and that gravity slows it down. Why is this comforting? Because it means that your experience of time is the correct one for you. We often feel guilty about time. We feel like we are wasting it. We feel like we are running late. We look at the clock and feel a spike of anxiety, as if we are falling behind some great cosmic schedule. But physics tells us that there is no schedule. There is no correct time to compare yourself to. Your timeline is unique to your position in the universe. You're not running late. You're not falling behind. You're simply flowing at the exact speed that gravity dictates for where you are standing. You're exactly on time. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, moving at the exact pace the Earth allows. And when we look out at the stars, the illusion of now breaks down completely. Light takes time to travel. It is fast, the fastest thing there is. But the universe is vast, and even light gets tired. When you look at the moon, you are not seeing the moon as it is right now. You're seeing the moon as it was 1.3 seconds ago. That is how long it took the light to cross the gap. When you look at the sun, though please never look directly at it, you are seeing the ghost of 8 minutes ago. If the sun were to suddenly vanish, we wouldn't know about it for 8 full minutes. We would still see it shining. We would still feel its warmth. We would be orbiting a ghost. And when you look at the stars, Oh, the stars. You're looking into deep history. The light from the North Star left its surface hundreds of years ago. It has been travelling through the empty, silent dark while empires rose and fell on Earth, while cities were built, while you were born, while you grew up, just to arrive at your eye tonight. If a star in the Andromeda Galaxy were to explode right now, in this very second, we wouldn't know about it for 2.5 million years. The universe is a collection of ghosts. Everything we see is a memory. There is no such thing as a shared moment across the cosmos. The present is a local bubble. It extends only as far as your arm can reach. So, as you close your eyes, you can let go of the pressure of the present moment. The idea of now is just a relative concept. It is not a demand. Relax into your own private timeline. In this room, in this gravity, under these blankets. This is the only time that matters. Think about the silence of the room. Think about the heavy, slow nature of the air around you. You're sitting at the bottom of a deep ocean of air and gravity. The pressure is holding you. It is slowing everything down. Your heart rate is slowing down to match it. Your breathing is lengthening. Even your thoughts are subject to this law. During the day, your thoughts race. They are high-altitude thoughts, buzzing and fast. But at night, they sink. They come down to sea level. They get heavier, slower, harder to move. This is natural. This is physics. You don't need to force your mind to stop. You just need to let gravity do its work. Let the weight of the planet pull the speed out of your mind. Imagine your thoughts are like that honey we talked about, warm, golden and slow, pouring gently from one moment to the next. No rushing, no splashing, just a smooth, continuous flow. You are insulated here. You are protected from the fast time of the satellites. You are protected from the ancient time of the stars. You are here in the heavy, comfortable embrace of the earth. And in this slow, thick, quiet gravity, there is nothing you need to do but rest. The clock on the wall can keep ticking, but it is just a machine. It doesn't own your time. Your time is measured in breaths, in heartbeats, in the slow drift of dreams. You are the master of your own relativity. So let the world spin fast outside. Let the universe expand at breakneck speed. Here, in the gravity of the bed, we take the slow road. We take the long way around. And we drift. We have talked about gravity. Now let's talk about speed. There is a rule in the universe, a strict, unbreakable budget that every object must follow. From the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, and including you, lying there in the dark. We are all travelling at a constant speed, and that speed is the speed of light. I know that sounds impossible. You are lying in bed, you are heavy, you're certainly not zooming around the room at 186,000 miles per second. But physics asks us to look at the world differently. It asks us to see that we're not living in just 3 dimensions of space. We're living in 4 dimensions of space-time. Imagine you are in a car driving across a vast, perfectly flat desert. You can drive north, or you can drive east. Your car has a top speed, let's say 100 miles per hour. If you drive purely north, you're using all of your speed to cover distance in the north. You're making maximum progress on the map. If you turn the wheel and drive purely east, you are using all of your speed to go east. But if you drive northeast, you have to share your speed. You are moving a little bit north and a little bit east. You aren't going as fast in either direction as you could be, because you are splitting your resources. You're trading progress in one direction for progress in the other. Einstein discovered that space and time work the exact same way. They are the north and east of our existence. You have a total speed budget, the speed of light. You're always moving through the combined fabric of space-time at this limit. You cannot go faster, and you cannot go slower. You are pinned to the cosmic dashboard, but you have a choice. You can choose how to spend that budget. You can spend it on moving through space, walking, driving, flying, running, or you can spend it on moving through time, aging, ticking, changing, healing. But you cannot do both at maximum capacity. It is a zero-sum game. If you move very fast, through space, imagine a rocket ship blasting off toward a distant star, you're pouring almost all of your budget into spatial motion. You're pressing the gas pedal for north. Because of this, you have almost no speed left to move through time. This is why time slows down for astronauts. It isn't a trick. It isn't a hallucination. It is simple accounting. They are spending their currency on distance, so they cannot afford to buy seconds. They age slower. Their clocks tick slower. Their hearts beat slower relative to the people they left behind. Movement steals from time. This is one of the most profound discoveries in the history of human thought. It connects the concept of going somewhere with the concept of being somewhere. Now bring this thought back to your bedroom. Bring it back to your body, heavy and warm under the covers. Look at what you're doing. You're lying perfectly still. You're not moving through space. Your budget for spatial motion is effectively zero. You aren't walking to the kitchen. You aren't driving to work. You aren't flying to Mars. So where is all that energy going? Where is that cosmic speed being directed? It is flowing entirely into time. By being still, you are traveling through time with maximum efficiency. You're allowing the full, unadulterated flow of the temporal river to wash over you. You are hurtling toward tomorrow with everything you have, and that is a good thing. It is a wonderful thing. We often fear time. We fear aging. We fear the ticking clock. But tonight, I want you to reframe that fear. Moving through time is not just about getting older. It is about processing. It is about becoming. When you move through time at full speed, you are healing at full speed. Think about the day you just had. You are moving through space. You are rushing from place to place. You are scattering your energy across the map. You are spending your budget on the external world. Because of that, your internal world had to wait. The repairs had to wait. The organization of your memories had to wait. But now the car has stopped. You have taken your foot off the gas pedal of space, and suddenly all that engine power is diverted to the internal clock. You are accelerating the restoration of your own cells. You are accelerating the cleaning of your brain. You are accelerating the knitting together of your emotions. You are a time traveler. You just happen to be taking the scenic route, 1 second at a time with your eyes closed. This is why sleep is so restorative. It is the one time of day when we stop fighting the flow. We stop trying to be in 2 places at once. We stop trying to drive northeast. We just drive straight into the future. Imagine your body as a vessel for this flow. When you're still, you are like a smooth stone in the middle of a rushing creek. The water of time flows over you, polishing you, cooling you, washing away the debris of the day. If you were running along the bank, you wouldn't feel the water. You wouldn't be cleansed by it. You have to get in. You have to be still. This gives a new meaning to the feeling of heaviness you feel right now. That heaviness is not just exhaustion. It is focus. It is your body gathering all its resources and pointing them in one direction. Forward. You're not stagnant. You're not doing nothing. You're doing the most important thing a living creature can do. You're surrendering to the fourth dimension. Think of a muddy glass of water. If you carry it around, shaking it, running with it, the water stays cloudy. The mud never settles. But if you set it down on a table, if you stop moving it through space, then time can do its work. Slowly, gravity pulls the mud down. The water becomes clear at the top. The chaotic mixture separates into order. Not because you forced it, not because you stuck your hand in and pushed the mud down, but simply because you gave it time. You are that glass of water. The stillness is not empty. The stillness is the mechanism of clarity. So let the mud settle. Let the conversations of the day sink to the bottom. Let the worries of tomorrow sink to the bottom. You don't need to manage them. You just need to stop shaking the glass. Let the pure, clear water of your mind rise to the top. You're travelling through the night at the perfect speed. You're exactly where you need to be in the timeline. The universe is not leaving you behind. It is carrying you along the main current. So, when you feel that urge to twitch, or to turn over, or to check the time, remind yourself, I am trading space for time. Every moment of stillness is a purchase. You're buying a better tomorrow. You're buying clarity. You're buying health. The engine is humming. The track is straight. The lights are green. You are moving through the dimension of rest at the speed of light, and there is nothing in your way. We've talked about how your time slows down if you move fast. We have talked about the budget of the universe and how you have to trade motion through space for motion through time. But what if you moved really fast? What if you moved at the absolute maximum speed limit of the cosmos? This is where physics stops being just mathematics and starts to become something almost spiritual. This is where the rules of reality bend so far that they break into something entirely new. According to Einstein's equations, if you were to travel at the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second, your clock would not just slow down, it would stop completely. To understand this, we have to look at the most mysterious object in the universe. It isn't a star. It isn't a black hole. It is a photon, a single particle of light. A photon is born in the heart of a star. Let's imagine a photon born in the centre of our sun. It fights its way to the surface, and then it is released into the void. It flies across the gap between the sun and the earth. To us standing here on the ground with our stopwatches, that journey takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds. We can measure it. We can see the start and we can see the finish. We say, the light took time to get here. But if you could ask the photon about its journey, if you could interview a beam of light, it would tell you a very different story. For a photon, time does not exist. Because it is travelling at the speed of light, it is using 100% of its cosmic budget on spatial motion. It has zero budget left for time. This means that for the light itself, the moment it leaves the sun and the moment it hits your eye are the exact same moment. There is no gap, there is no waiting, there is no travel time. From the perspective of light, the universe is not a vast empty place with huge distances between things. From the perspective of light, the universe is instantaneous. The beginning and the end are touching. Think about what this means for the light filling your room right now. Maybe you have a small lamp on your bedside table, or maybe there is moonlight filtering through the curtains. That light is composed of trillions of tiny particles flooding into the room, bouncing off the walls, landing on your blanket. These particles are travellers from a realm without time. They are visitors from eternity, entering the river of time just to let you see. When a photon of light hits your skin, it is dying. It gives up its energy to warm you, but in its own experience it was born on the filament of the light bulb and absorbed by your skin in the same instant. Its entire life, whether it travelled across a room or across a galaxy, happened in a single, timeless flash of existence. This is a profound kind of stillness. We usually think of the light as the most active thing there is. We think of it as energetic, fast, dashing around the universe at breakneck speeds. But in a way, light is the only thing in the universe that is truly at rest. It is at rest from the passage of time. It is at rest from the ravages of age. A photon that is 10 billion years old looks exactly the same as a photon that was born a microsecond ago. They do not age. They do not change. They simply are. Light is the stillness that runs through the background of everything. It is the static, unchanging frame that holds the moving picture of our lives. And you and I, we are different. We are made of matter. We are heavy. We are slow. We are trapped in the flow. We remember the past. We anticipate the future. We feel the weight of duration. We worry about being late. We worry about running out of time. But light is never late. Light is never early. Light cannot be rushed, and it cannot be delayed. It exists outside of the concept of schedules. So tonight, as you close your eyes, imagine you are borrowing a little bit of that timelessness. You don't need to be a photon to step out of the river for a while. You don't need to travel at the speed of light to find that eternal pause. When you sleep, you lose track of time. You close your eyes, the world fades, and a second later it is morning. 8 hours vanish in a blink. In that sense, sleep is the closest a human being will ever get to travelling at the speed of light. You are compressing the night into a single instant. You are folding the hours together until the start and the finish are touching. For the watching world, you will lie there for 8 hours. The sun will move around the earth. The traffic will die down and start up again. The stars will rotate. History will march forward. But for you, for the consciousness inside the sleeper, there is no duration. There is only the closing of the eyes and the opening, the peaceful gap between the two. You are entering a capsule of no time. You're suspending yourself in a safe, timeless void between tonight and tomorrow. Consider the light from the stars outside your window. The North Star, Polaris, shines down on your roof. That light left the star over 300 years ago. When that light began its journey, the world was a different place. There were no electric lights. There were no cars. Maps were incomplete. And yet that light is arriving now. It carries the image of the past, but it delivers it into your present. Light is the great connector. It sews the history of the universe together with the present moment. It ensures that nothing is ever truly lost. The past is streaming down onto your roof right now. The history of the cosmos is tapping gently against the glass of your window. And if you were to look up, not that you need to, you can keep your eyes closed, but if you were to look up at the Andromeda Galaxy, you would be catching light that has been travelling for 2.5 million years. Before humans walked upright, that light left its home. It crossed the unimaginable blackness of the intergalactic void. It passed through dust clouds and solar systems. It avoided planets and asteroids. It flew straight and true for eons, just to end its journey on the retina of your eye. To us, that is an epic saga. That is a journey of heroic length. But to that light, it was instant. It was born, and then it was with you. Here I am, it says. I have arrived. There is a comfort in this strange physics. It tells us that the separation between things is not as absolute as we think. Distance is an obstacle for us because we are heavy. Time is an obstacle for us because we are slow. But for the light that connects us, there is no distance. There is no time. Every point in the universe is connected to every other point by these instantaneous bridges of light. So even in the dark of your room, you are not cut off. You're not isolated. You're swimming in a sea of connection. The infrared light from your own body is radiating out, warming the sheets, warming the air. You are glowing, even if you cannot see it. And that glow is travelling out. It is leaving the room. It is leaking out into the night. It is joining the rest of the light in the universe. You're part of the timeless network. So, rest now. Let the heavy matter of your body sink into the mattress. Let the slow clock of biology tick at its own rhythm. You do not need to be fast tonight. You do not need to be efficient. You can leave the speed to the light. It acts as the guardian of the universe, racing around so that you can stay still. It holds the structure together so that you can let go. The light will keep the universe connected while you sleep. It will keep the past connected to the future. It will bridge the gap until morning. You're safe in the dark precisely because the dark is full of this quiet, invisible, timeless traveller. Drift on that thought. Drift on the idea that somewhere, out in the vastness, there is a perspective where time does not exist, where everything is happening at once, where there is no waiting, and in sleep you are touching the edge of that peace, a stillness so deep it outruns time itself. But why is there a limit? We have spoken about the speed of light as a budget and as a timeless state of being, but we have not asked the most human question of all. Why can't we go faster? Why is 186,000 miles per second the absolute ceiling? It feels at first glance like an arbitrary rule. It feels like a speed limit sign posted on a cosmic highway where there are no police to enforce it. Why shouldn't a rocket be able to just keep accelerating faster and faster until it breaks that barrier? Why shouldn't we be able to snap our fingers and be in the Andromeda Galaxy instantly? It is easy to feel frustrated by this limit. We are creatures who love speed. We love to overcome obstacles. We love to break records. To be told by the laws of physics that there is a wall we can never climb feels restrictive. But tonight, I want to offer you a different perspective. I want you to see this speed limit not as a cage, but as a cradle. It is not there to keep you in. It is there to keep the chaos out. The speed of light is not really about light at all. It is about something much deeper. It is about the speed of cause and effect. Physicists call it causality. Causality is just a fancy word for the story. It is the rule that says the story must make sense. The cause must happen before the effect. You must drop the glass before it shatters on the floor. You must strike the match before the candle flickers to life. You must speak the words before your voice is heard. This seems obvious to us. It seems like common sense. But it is only common sense because the speed limit exists. If you could travel faster than light, you could outrun the news of your own actions. You could travel back along your own timeline. You could arrive at a destination before you left. You could see the glass shatter on the floor before you even open your hand to drop it. The universe is strictly organized to prevent this from happening. It is protecting the narrative. It is ensuring that the past stays in the past and the future stays in the future. It ensures that things happen in the right order. Think of the speed of light not as a speed limit, but as the rendering speed of reality. It is the speed at which the universe updates itself. It is the speed at which the now spreads out into the then. Imagine you are standing on the shore of a calm lake. You throw a stone into the water. The ripples spread out in a perfect circle. They move at a specific speed. They cannot move instantly to the other side of the lake. They have to travel. Reality is like that water. When something changes, when a star is born, when a planet moves, when you take a breath, that change ripples out into the cosmos. If the sun were to disappear right now, in this exact second, gravity wouldn't disappear instantly. The Earth wouldn't fly off into the dark immediately. The Earth would continue to orbit the empty spot for 8 minutes. We would still see the sun shining in the sky for 8 minutes. We would still feel its warmth on our faces. The flowers would still turn their heads toward the light. We would be living in a ghost world, orbiting a ghost star, simply because the news of the disappearance hasn't arrived yet. The ripple hasn't reached the shore. This delay is not a flaw. It is a buffer. It is a cushion of time between you and the rest of the universe. It protects us from the overwhelming interconnectedness of all things. If the universe happened all at once, if the speed of light was infinite, every event, everywhere, would affect everything else instantly. It would be a chaotic noise of infinite intensity. But because of this speed limit, the universe is forced to unfold slowly, one moment at a time, one event at a time. It is polite. It waits its turn. This structure is what allows you to rest. It guarantees that you only have to deal with this moment. The one you are in right now, the light from the distant stars, takes millions of years to reach you. It doesn't slam into you all at once. It trickles in gentle and soft, filtered by the vastness of space. The sound of my voice takes milliseconds to reach your ears. It travels through the air, vibrating the molecules, respecting the distance between us. Everything is arriving in its own time. Nothing can rush the process. This creates a sense of profound order. The universe is a sequence. It is a line of dominoes falling with infinite grace one after the other. It is not a pile of dominoes falling all at once, and you are safe inside this sequence. You are the witness at the end of the line, and the witness doesn't need to rush. Consider the night sky again. When you look up, you're looking at a map of delays. The moon is 1.3 seconds away. Mars is 12 minutes away. Jupiter is 40 minutes away. Pluto is 5 hours away. The nearest star is 4 years away. You are surrounded by layers of time like the layers of an onion. This means that nothing can sneak up on you from the cosmos. The laws of physics demand that everything announces its approach. Even gravity, the force that holds you to the bed, travels at this speed. The grip of the earth is constantly updating, constantly refreshing, constantly telling your body, I have you, I am here. But it sends that message at a finite speed. It is a constant stream of reassurance, arriving packet by packet. So, when you feel the frustration of being slow, or the desire to be faster, remember what speed really is. Speed is stress. Instantaneity is chaos. The limit is the peace. The fact that there is a maximum speed means that there is a maximum pace to life. The universe has a heartbeat, and it refuses to beat any faster than this. You're living within the safety of that rhythm. Imagine if you could see these ripples of causality spreading out from your sleeping body. Your breath, in and out, creating gentle waves in the air. Your warmth, radiating out into the room, moving at the speed of light, touching the walls, touching the window, flying out into the night. You are broadcasting your presence to the universe, but you are doing it at the speed of light. You are telling the galaxy, I am here, I am resting, and the galaxy is listening. But it takes time for the message to travel. There is something lonely about this, perhaps. The idea that we are all separated by time delays, that I can never touch you instantly, that we are always seeing the past of the people we love, even if it is only by a billionth of a second. But there is also something protective about it. It gives us space. It gives us room to be ourselves. You are an island of now in a sea of then. You have your own private time, your own private moment. The speed limit of the universe creates a boundary around you. It says, inside this skin, inside this mind, you are the master of the clock. So tonight, accept the limit. Accept the slowness. Do not try to race the light. You will lose, and that is a good thing. Let the light be the fastest thing. Let it carry the messages. Let it carry the images. Let it do the running. You stay here. You stay in the slow, heavy world of matter. Matter is slow light. That is all we are. We are energy that has slowed down, cooled down, and decided to take a nap. We are light that has decided to become a stone, a tree, a person. We've traded our speed for substance. We've traded our instantaneity for duration. We've traded the flash for the dream. And the dream is worth it. So sink deeper into the substance of the bed. Feel the heaviness of your own atoms. That heaviness is your anchor. It is keeping you from flying apart. You are slow, you're solid, you are here, and everything else, it will arrive when it arrives. There is a direction to things. You feel it in your bones, even if you cannot see it. You feel it in the way the day moves toward the night. You feel it in the way hot coffee cools down, but cool coffee never heats itself up. You feel it in the way a sandcastle crumbles into the surf, but the surf never accidentally builds a castle. We live in a universe that has a preference. It prefers to uncoil. It prefers to spread out. It prefers to let go. This flow, from order to disorder, from concentrated energy to spread out energy, from tightness to looseness, is called entropy. It is one of the most misunderstood concepts in all of physics. We often hear the word entropy and we think of chaos. We think of destruction. We think of things falling apart in a scary way. We look at a messy room, or a decaying garden, or a crumbling ruin, and we see something sad. We see a loss of structure. But tonight, I want you to see it differently. I want you to see entropy not as the enemy of life, but as the ultimate form of relaxation. Entropy is the quiet arrow of time. It is the force that tells us which way is forward. And more importantly, it is the force that allows the universe to exhale. Think about what it takes to maintain order. Think about a deck of cards arranged in perfect numerical sequence. Ace, 2, 3, 4, spades, hearts, diamonds, clubs. To keep that deck in order takes effort. You have to handle it carefully. You have to guard it. If you drop it, the order is lost. If you shuffle it, the order is lost. There's only one way for the deck to be perfect, but there are millions upon millions of ways for it to be messy. In physics, order is tension. Order is improbable. Order is hard work. To be ordered is to be like a tightrope walker, constantly balancing, constantly correcting, constantly spending energy to stay on the line. Now, think about your own day. Think about the last 16 hours. You've been fighting entropy. You have been the tightrope walker. You woke up and you organized your thoughts. You organized your schedule. You organized your face to look a certain way. You organized your words to make sense in a meeting. You held your body in a posture that defied gravity. You spent your entire day building a sandcastle against the tide. You spent your entire day holding the deck of cards in perfect sequence. It is exhausting. It is the hardest work there is, being a human being who holds it all together. But now, the work is done. Sleep is your daily agreement with entropy. Sleep is the moment you stop fighting. When you lie down, you're finally listening to the universe. You're saying, okay, I will stop building. I will stop organizing. I will let the cards fall where they may. Entropy is the scientific word for letting go. Imagine a drop of dark blue ink falling into a glass of crystal clear water. Watch it in your mind. See the drop hit the surface. At first, it is a tight, dark sphere. It is concentrated. It is ordered. It is holding itself together. But then, the physics of the water begins to take over. The molecules of the water bump against the molecules of the ink. They nudge them. They whisper to them, "You don't have to stay so tight. You can move. You can drift." And slowly, beautiful tendrils of blue begin to swirl out. They unfurl like smoke. They dance and twist, spreading into the clear spaces, exploring the volume of the glass. The ink is losing its order. It is increasing its entropy. But is it ugly? Is it chaotic? No, it is mesmerizing. It is relaxing. The tension of the drop is gone, replaced by the ease of the cloud. The ink is finding its equilibrium. It is finding its rest. You are that drop of ink. All day long you held yourself in a tight, concentrated sphere. You held your identity together. You held your responsibilities together. But now you are in the water of the night. You can let the edges blur. You can let your thoughts unspool like those ribbons of blue ink. You don't need to keep them in a straight line anymore. Let a thought about tomorrow drift into a memory from 10 years ago. Let a worry about work dissolve into a dream about flying. Let the strict geometry of your mind soften into a watercolor painting. This is not a failure of focus. This is a triumph of physics. You're doing exactly what every atom in the universe wants to do. You're seeking the state of lowest energy. We are told that we must always be constructive, that we must always be building. But you cannot build forever. If you never stopped building, you would break. The universe knows this. That is why it gave us the law of entropy. Entropy is the cleaner. It is the sweeper. It clears the chalkboard. It softens the sharp edges of the stone. It allows the forest to reclaim the castle. If there were no entropy, nothing would ever change. The universe would be frozen in a state of permanent rigid tension. But because of entropy, things can change. Ice can melt into water. Wood can turn into warmth. You can turn into a sleeper. Think of a tightly wound spring. It is full of potential energy. It is ready to snap. It is anxious. The universe began as a tightly wound spring at the moment of the Big Bang. It was incredibly hot, incredibly dense, and incredibly ordered. And for the last 14 billion years, it has been doing one thing: unwinding. The expansion of the universe is just a long, slow sigh of relief. The stars burning their fuel are just the universe releasing its tension. When you exhale, you are mimicking the cosmos. Feel your breath leave your body. You are releasing heat. You are releasing carbon dioxide. You are spreading your energy out into the room. You're helping the universe unwind. So do not be afraid of the disorder of sleep. Do not be afraid of losing control. Control is high energy. Control is resistance. Control is a fight against the natural flow of time. Surrender is low energy. Surrender is alignment. Surrender is peace. When you feel your muscles turn to jelly, that is entropy. When you feel your thoughts turn to nonsense, that is entropy. When you feel the boundary between you and the bed begin to disappear, that is entropy. It is the quiet arrow pointing you toward rest. There is a concept in physics called heat death. It sounds frightening, but it is actually the most peaceful concept imaginable. It is the idea that trillions of years from now, everything will be the same temperature. There will be no more storms because storms require a difference in heat. There will be no more collisions. There will be no more noise. The universe will simply be a warm, quiet bath of photons, resting in eternal equilibrium. Every night you get to practice a little version of this. You get to reach your own personal equilibrium. You start the day hot, full of fire and movement, and you end the day cool, still and quiet. You are seeking the level. You are seeking the balance. So stop trying to hold the water in your hands. Open your fingers. Let it spill. You have done enough thinking. Thinking is an act of ordering. It is the act of taking the chaotic information of the world and forcing it into rows and columns. It is the act of labeling, sorting, and judging. It requires a massive amount of glucose. It requires a massive amount of electrical activity. Your brain burns 20% of your body's energy just trying to fight entropy, just trying to keep the world making sense. Give it a break. The world does not need to make sense for the next 8 hours. The world does not need to be sorted. Let the files fall off the desk. Let the paper scatter on the floor. Let the ink spill. There is a profound safety in disorder. If you are not trying to maintain a structure, then nothing can knock it down. You cannot break a wave. You cannot shatter a cloud. Be the cloud. Be the wave. Let the gravity of the earth pull the tension out of your shoulders. Gravity loves entropy. Gravity is the great leveler. It wants everything to be flat. It wants everything to be low. It is pulling you down, 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 into the most stable position possible. You're lying horizontal. You have maximized your contact with the support. You have minimized your potential energy. From a physics standpoint, you are perfect. You have achieved the ideal state for a biological organism in a gravitational field. You have nothing left to solve. The arrow of time is moving forward, carrying you with it. You don't need to run to keep up. You're stuck to the arrow, so ride it. Feel the drift. Feel the unraveling. The knots in your back are untying. The knots in your mind are untying. This is not the end of something. It is the smoothing out of something. You are returning to the baseline. You are returning to the hum. Entropy is the quiet arrow, and it is pointing you straight toward the dark, soft center of sleep. Follow it! The quietest thing a person can do is to wait. We wait for the kettle to boil. We wait for the light to change. We wait for a package to arrive. We wait for the morning. And in all this waiting, we feel a kind of tension. We feel an anxiety about the gap between where we are now and where the thing we want is going to be. We are in our core creatures obsessed with the future. We plan for it. We worry about it. We work all day to ensure that the future is slightly better, slightly safer, slightly more comfortable than the present. But what if I told you that the future is not a place you can visit? It is not a room you can peek into. It is not even a destination you can see from where you are standing. The future is not a hidden thing waiting to be revealed. It is an unwritten thing waiting to be created. This is the great, gentle barrier of the universe, the fundamental rule that prevents anxiety from being a universal condition. The reason you can never see the future is because it doesn't exist yet. It is only when a photon of light is created that it is bound by the rules of time. It is only when an event occurs that it enters the history book. The future, by definition, is empty of events. It is a vacuum of possibilities, and because it is empty of events, it is empty of light. And since nothing can travel faster than light, nothing can enter that void. It is impossible to send a message back from the future to the present. The speed of light is not just the limit of motion, it is the boundary between what is and what could be. Imagine a long, dark road stretching out ahead of your car. You can see the stretch of the road that is illuminated by your headlights. That is your present moment. But the darkness beyond the reach of your lights, the curves and hills you cannot see, you cannot know what is there. It could be a smooth, straight road. It could be a sharp turn. It could be a perfectly flat salt bed. The road is built only as your lights touch it. That is the future. It is being built by the light of your attention, moment by moment. The physical barrier of the speed of light guarantees your safety. It ensures that the problems of tomorrow cannot travel back through time to interrupt the peace of tonight. We spend so much energy worrying about things that might happen. We create entire fictional narratives in our minds about things that have not yet occurred. We allow our thoughts to fly faster than the speed of light, chasing imaginary disasters. But the universe has made a law against this. It has built a firewall between your now and your next. The fear you feel about the future is physically impossible. You cannot be harmed by something that has not been rendered into reality yet. The universe is telling you, the problem has not arrived yet. Think of the arrow of time we discussed earlier, entropy. That flow from order to relaxation. That is the engine that generates the future. The future is just the moment after the universe takes its next breath. It is the moment after the next star settles down. It is the moment after you have finished this current heartbeat. You cannot know what the future is because the universe itself has not decided. The die has not been cast. The card has not been turned over. The energy is still in a fluid state of possibility. This is the most powerful invitation to rest that physics can offer. You're being asked to release your grip on the unwritten page. You're being asked to trust the process of unfolding. You've done all the organizing you can do. You've done all the planning you can do. You've stacked all the dominoes. Now you have to let them fall. And you cannot stand at the end of the line and rush them. You have to trust that the simple law of cause and effect will unfold correctly, that the flow of time will carry you to the appropriate conclusion. Imagine the universe as a massive, slow-moving computer that is only processing one frame of film at a time. That one frame is the present. The computer is using all its energy and all its speed, the speed of light, to make this one single frame perfect. It is rendering the light and the sound and the gravity and the movement with absolute precision. The future is just a black screen in the memory buffer. The frame has not been processed yet. The computer has not committed to what that picture will look like, and you, the sleeper, are the primary viewer of this film. You cannot climb inside the computer and peek at the next frame. You simply have to wait for the system to process the current one and then gracefully transition to the next. Your sleep is that transition. It is the moment the screen goes dark and the system reboots for the next perfect frame. There is nothing you can do in this moment to influence the rendering process. Your anxiety will not make the picture clearer. Your worry will not speed up the computer. Your overthinking will not change the code. All it will do is drain the energy from the current frame. All it will do is ruin the enjoyment of the moment you're actually in. So, let the system work. Close your eyes. Surrender to the rhythm of the universal processor. You're waiting for the next perfect frame of reality to appear. And when you wake up, that frame will be ready. It will contain the new day. It will contain the new light. It will contain the new challenges. But those challenges will be delivered at the speed of light, no faster. They will arrive gently. They will arrive in sequence. They will arrive when you are ready to receive them. You have all the security of the universe protecting you. The speed of light is the guardian of your present. It ensures that everything stays in its proper place. The past cannot chase you, and the future cannot ambush you. You are safe in the timeless bubble of the night. So, relax your grip on the timeline. Let your hands be open. Let the unwritten future drift away into the dark. It is time to stop planning. It is time to stop solving. The universe does not need your help to proceed. It needs your absence. It needs your stillness. Only when you stop moving through space can you fully participate in the flow of time. And only when you stop chasing the future can the future truly begin to build itself. You're a perfect, slow-moving point in a vast, fast universe. And in that paradox lies the deepest peace. We've explored the grand scale of the universe. We've seen the planets spin at supersonic speeds and the sun drag us through the Milky Way at 500,000 miles per hour. We've witnessed the strange silence of light and the relentless, one-way flow of time driven by entropy. And yet, here you are, lying in a warm bed, feeling safe, feeling stable. How is this possible? How can a fragile biological system like you, a person made of soft tissue and delicate thoughts, find comfort inside a machine that is tearing itself apart with speed and expanding toward a state of total, universal disorder? The answer is the greatest secret of life: local order. The universe is governed by the second law of thermodynamics, which dictates that the total entropy, the total disorder, of the entire system must always increase. The great house is constantly falling apart. The energy is constantly dissipating. The whole thing is winding down. But within that massive universal uncoiling, small temporary pockets of incredible order can emerge. These pockets are where life happens. They are where miracles happen. They are where you are right now. Think of it like a cold winter night. The entire world is losing heat. The cold is winning. The forest is freezing. That is the universe increasing its entropy. But inside your house, you turn on a furnace. You are burning fuel, ordered energy, to create a small, warm bubble. You're spending highly organized resources to create a temporary area of low entropy. You are defying the universe just for a moment. A life is an act of defiance. A cell is a fortress built against entropy. Every cell in your body, right now, is performing an act of organization. It is taking disorganized food and oxygen and building highly organized structures, proteins, DNA, membranes. It is running its internal systems flawlessly, resisting the universal push toward chaos. This is the great work of living. It is the work that has consumed all your energy throughout the day. You are a magnificent little furnace burning brightly, holding the cold at bay. But the price of local order is universal disorder. To create the order inside your cell, you have to create a tiny bit more disorder outside of it. When you exhale, you're releasing hot air and random molecules into the room. When you eat, you're organizing the energy in the food, but you are creating waste products that are less organized than the food itself. The Earth does this on a grand scale. It takes highly ordered sunlight, converts it into life, and then radiates disorganized, low-energy heat back into space. The Earth is spending the sun's energy to maintain its beautiful, vibrant order. And now you are turning off your furnace. Your day is over. Your local act of defiance is complete. You cannot run the machine forever. You cannot maintain that internal high-energy order for 24 hours a day. The cost is too high, so sleep is not a passive surrender. It is a vital, high-efficiency system reset. It is the moment you temporarily stop spending the energy required to maintain consciousness, which is the highest form of local order. Consciousness, your mind, your thoughts, your memories, your worries, is incredibly expensive to maintain. It is the perfect arrangement of 1 trillion neurons firing in precise sequence. It is the pinnacle of non-entropy. When you sleep, you are deliberately allowing that high-order system to relax. You're letting the heat drain out of the engine. You're allowing the perfect geometric structure of your waking mind to soften. This allows the simpler, non-conscious systems of your body to take over the healing process. The highly organized you of the day steps aside, and the deeper, quieter, more fundamental you of the body takes the shift. This quieter self is still organizing. It is still fighting entropy. But it is fighting the good fight, the quiet fight. It is building proteins for memory consolidation. It is repairing DNA damage from the day. It is cleaning out metabolic waste products in your brain. And it does all this without needing your conscious attention. This is the final comfort of the night. You are not responsible for the maintenance anymore. The most perfect, powerful parts of your system, the parts that know exactly how to rebuild the human body, are working at maximum efficiency, precisely because the loud, distracting, high-entropy part of you has gone silent. You're handing the keys to the master mechanic. You spent your entire day striving for order in the face of universal chaos. Now, you can rest in the perfect order of your own biological machine. The universal chaos continues outside your walls. The galaxy spins, the sun flies, the planets rotate. But inside your skin, there is a small, quiet miracle of organization. A temporary, beautiful haven of perfect structure. So, let the noise go, let the light fade, let the tension drain away. The universe is huge, fast, and constantly running down, but your body is small, still, and expertly winding itself back up for the sunrise. Trust your local order, trust your furnace, trust the wisdom of the system that knows how to create life out of starlight and dust. The great work of the night has begun, and you don't need to lift a finger to help it along. You're safe in the chaos. You're protected by the miracle of your own stillness. We've journeyed through the speed of the immediate cosmos. We've used the laws of physics to quiet the mind's anxious clock. We have found comfort in the speed of light and peace in the slow arrow of entropy. But where is this all leading? If the universe never stops moving, what is the destination? Let's turn our attention now to the very end of the line, the final, distant, unimaginable future of the cosmos, a time so far away that it makes the age of the Earth look like a single tick of a watch. We call this phase the far future, and it is defined by the absolute victory of entropy. It is the time when the universe is completely unwound. Imagine that tightly wound spring we talked about. It is finally, totally and absolutely relaxed. In this far future, there are no more storms. There are no more planets. There are no more stars. The stars are the most ordered, concentrated things in the universe. They are furnaces of hydrogen, defying entropy by constantly fusing elements together, creating structure and heat. But even stars run out of fuel. They burn out, they collapse, they fade away. In the far future, there is no more light being born. The universe has gone dark. The universe becomes a thin, cold mist of elementary particles spread out so thinly that the nearest particle is 1 billion miles away. Nothing ever bumps into anything else. Nothing ever organizes. Nothing ever creates. And in that ultimate stillness, something profound happens. Motion fades away. The immense chaotic movements of the current cosmos, the galaxies spiraling, the sun flying, the earth spinning, all vanish. All of that energy has been converted into widely dispersed low-grade heat, floating just above absolute zero. There is no more wind, there are no more tides, there are no more flames, there is no more growth. There is just a cold, silent, uniform stillness. This final state is sometimes called heat death. It sounds dramatic, but it is actually the most perfectly peaceful state imaginable. It is the cosmic equivalent of a quiet, empty room where all the heat has been turned off and the dust has settled. Every point in the universe is exactly the same temperature. Every single thing is perfectly balanced. And in a universe where everything is the same, time has no purpose. Time, as we discussed, is the measurement of change. But when everything is uniform, there is no change to measure. There is no memory. There is no anticipation. There is no cause and effect because there are no events. The arrow of time ceases to matter because there is nothing for the arrow to point at. This is the ultimate stillness, a stillness that is not just local, like the quiet in your room, but absolute. It is the final, perfect rest that the entire cosmos is working toward. Why reflect on this deep, cold future when you're trying to find comfort in the present? Because it recontextualizes your own life, the effort you expend every day, the constant, beautiful struggle to maintain local order in your body, your career, and your relationships is a tiny spark of resistance against this final entropy. Your life is the most precious thing in the universe because it is an act of defiance against the inevitable. But that defiance is temporary. It is meant to be temporary. The human body cannot sustain defiance forever. It needs to align itself with the greater flow. Sleep is your daily vacation to the far future. When you allow your conscious mind to go quiet, when you allow the energy-expensive systems of thought to power down, you're embracing that final, deep stillness. You're practicing the ultimate universal relaxation. You're saying, for these few hours I will not resist. I will allow my local order to soften. I will become one with the quiet destiny of the cosmos. There is nothing to fear in the cold silence of that future. It is not an end. It is an equilibrium. It is the final perfect resolution of all tension. And you can borrow that resolution now. You can let your body become heavy and still. You can let the tension fade away, knowing that you are merely aligning yourself with the eventual trajectory of all matter. You are following the path of least resistance. You are being carried to the future by the motion of the earth, and you're being carried to rest by the direction of the universe. The two are in perfect harmony. The speed you feel in the daytime, the rushing, the urgency, the anxiety, that is the illusion. It is the temporary high-energy state. The stillness you feel right now, the heavy, quiet peace of your body, that is the truth. That is the final destination. That is the permanent state. So let the final thought be this. The universe is rushing toward its own perfect rest. It is traveling at the speed of light toward a state of ultimate quietude. And you, the sleeper, are simply following that command. You're a good citizen of the cosmos, doing what you're told. You're turning off your light and settling down. You're moving with the flow. You're moving with the great current. And because you have understood the physics of motion, you can now truly, safely embrace the physics of stillness. You can let go of the idea that you need to be busy to be valuable. You are valuable because you are here, and you are here to rest. Let the motion fade from your mind. Let the speed drain from your limbs. Let the silence of the far future settle over you like a blanket. There is no more time to think. There is no more energy to spend. There is only the long, slow, dark drift toward the morning. You are safe in the silence, and there is nowhere else to go. We have journeyed out to the edge of the universe and returned. We've seen the far future and the stillness of light. We've understood that every aspect of reality, from the smallest particle to the largest galaxy, is in a state of constant, relentless motion. And yet, you are here. You are resting. This chapter is about the most beautiful paradox of all, finding perfect rest inside the most complex, busy, and unstill structure imaginable. Your body is not a single, solid object. It is a vast, interconnected, almost unbelievable machine. Right now, as you lie there, you're a symphony of motion and energy. Inside your heart, valves are opening and closing. They're doing the mechanical work of pumping blood through miles of vessels. Inside your lungs, tiny cilia are sweeping the air clean. Inside your cells, mitochondria, the tiny furnaces of life, are burning chemical fuel, generating the very heat that keeps you warm. Inside your brain, silent signals are flashing. Between neurons, organizing the chaos of the day, filing away memories and dreaming the future. You're a whirlwind of local motion. You're a universe in miniature, filled with constant, furious activity. If the universe is never still, then you are never still. And this is the final, essential key to resting. You cannot stop the work. You can only change the foreman. All day long, the foreman was your conscious mind, the part of you that worries, that plans, that judges. It was loud. It was inefficient. It wasted energy on things it couldn't control. But now, the conscious mind has stepped aside. It has gone to its own small rest, and the foreman is now your fundamental biological structure. This part of you is silent, perfect, and infinitely efficient. It is running the systems of your body with the exact precision of cosmic law. It doesn't worry about the past. It doesn't plan for the future. It only operates in the absolute, immediate present. This is the great, comforting truth of your existence. You are resting inside the system, not outside of it. You're not fighting the physics of the universe. You are aligned with them. We talked about entropy, the universal flow toward relaxation. Your entire body is designed to achieve this state of low tension. Every cell is trying to get more comfortable. Every muscle is trying to let go of its stored energy. And your alignment with gravity is the ultimate act of surrender. Feel the weight of your body pressing down. That is gravity. It is the most primal, universal force. It is the invisible tether that holds stars together and keeps your pillow in place. And now, feel the mattress pushing back up. That is the normal force. The normal force is the perfect, equal, opposite reaction to gravity. If you press down with 10 pounds of weight, the mattress presses up with 10 pounds of counterforce. This is the moment of balance. This is the moment of equilibrium. You are being pressed down by a universal law, and you are being held up by an equally firm local law. You're caught in the perfect center point of two massive forces. This is the definition of stability. This is why you feel safe. You are held in a stable structure of equal and opposite forces. You cannot fall, you cannot drift. You are fixed in this moment, and just as your body is fixed in space, your mind is being fixed in time. The complex abstract thoughts, the worries about your job, the memories of a conversation, are forms of high-order energy. They are like complicated knots, but the simple, rhythmic functions of your body are low-order energy. They are like a smooth single rope. When you focus on your breath, when you count your inhales and exhales, you're replacing the complex high-energy thought knots with the simple, low-energy rope of your biology. The structure of the universe is built on these simple rhythms. The ticking of the atom, the rotation of the planet, the flow of the tide, and the most ancient rhythm you possess is your breath. It is the physical signature of the present moment. It is always happening now. It cannot be rushed. It cannot be delayed. It is the perfect local expression of the flow of time. So let the stillness of the structure hold you. You're resting inside the rhythm. You're resting inside the balance. You're resting inside the perfect alignment of gravity and counterforce. There is nothing left to solve. There's nothing left to organize. The universe is vast, but you are not lost in it. You are fixed. You are anchored. You're a small pocket of local order, taking a perfect rest inside a system that is designed to protect you, carry you, and ultimately restore you. Let your breathing deepen and let it slow down. The universe is working its quiet, tireless magic, and you are exactly where you need to be. We have explored all the movements of the universe that are straight lines, the Earth's spin, the sun's flight, and the steady, single-direction flow of time. But now, we must turn to the final, most elegant motion of all. It is the one that gives shape to everything, and it is the one that is happening to you right now without you ever noticing. We're talking about the curvature of space. Imagine a large, perfect trampoline stretched out flat and taut in a dark room. This trampoline is the fabric of space. It is flat and quiet. If you roll a marble across it, the marble travels in a perfectly straight line. Now, take a heavy bowling ball and place it in the very center of the trampoline. The bowling ball doesn't move, but the trampoline itself warps. It stretches down, creating a deep, invisible depression in the fabric. This depression is the core idea of general relativity. It is the shape of gravity. Gravity is not an invisible force that reaches out across the dark to pull you down. Gravity is the shape of space. When the Earth was formed, when all that massive rock and iron settled into place, it didn't just create a field of attraction, it created a colossal bowling ball on the trampoline. It warped the fabric of space-time around it, creating a permanent, gigantic dip. You're not being pulled toward the Earth. You're simply sliding into the deepest part of a well that the Earth has created. This is the great, comforting truth of your stillness. Right now, you're lying at the bottom of a gravity well. Imagine you are that marble. If you try to roll straight across the trampoline, you can't. The depression forces you to curve inward. It directs your path. It tells you where to go. The Earth does the same thing. The curvature of space tells everything nearby how to move. It is the ultimate non-negotiable instruction set. The moon is not being pulled by an invisible rope. It is simply trying to roll in a straight line across the warped fabric of the Earth's gravity well. Because the space itself is curved, the moon's straight path becomes a graceful eternal circle. It is like running straight ahead, but doing it on a perfect circular racetrack. You're running straight, but the track itself forces you to curve. The beauty of this is that the curvature is utterly predictable, it is stable, it is the most permanent structure in your life. The space beneath your house does not suddenly unwarp. The gravity well does not suddenly fill in. The Earth's perfect curve is always there, providing you with a constant, silent and unwavering source of direction. This is the geometry of rest. When you feel comfortable in your bed, you are feeling the absolute, flawless stability of the curve. You are lying in the deepest, most secure part of the gravitational dip. You have settled into the most energetically favourable position possible. You cannot fall out of this curve, you cannot accidentally roll to the surface of the trampoline. You're fixed in the deepest part of the well. This is the source of all the local order we discussed. The gravity well organises everything inside it. It tells the air how to stay put. It tells the water how to pool. It tells your body how to stay connected to the ground. It is the perfect low entropy structure that allows your muscles to relax. If you were trying to rest outside of a curve, if you were floating in flat, featureless space, you would constantly be jostled by random photons and tiny cosmic winds. You would have no absolute point of reference. You would be lost in a high entropy vacuum. But here, on Earth, the gravity well is your security blanket. It is the physical guarantee that you are fixed. So as you breathe, imagine the Earth as this massive, benevolent body, creating a deep, supportive indentation in the fabric of existence just to hold you. You don't need to hold yourself. The shape of space is doing it for you. You can let go of the idea of straight lines. We spend our days trying to live in straight lines, straight deadlines, straight answers, straight paths to success. But the universe is built on curves. The orbit is curved. The shape of a galaxy is curved. The path of light around a star is curved. And the space around your body is curved. The curve is not an error. It is the fundamental language of physics. And tonight, you are aligning with that fundamental language. You're letting your straight-line thoughts, your goals, your worries, your linear plans fall away. You're allowing your mind to enter the curve of the dream, where logic bends and reality folds in on itself. This is not a mistake. This is synchronicity. You're resting in the physical reality of the curve. Let your thoughts follow the curve of your breath. Let them be smooth, continuous, and circular. Let them turn inward, spiraling into a comfortable, quiet center. You are fixed. You are secure. The gravity well holds. You gently, not with a tug, but with its own perfect shape. There is nothing to fear in the dark, because the dark is woven into a reliable, predictable, and unchanging geometry. You are resting inside the structure. You are safe in the curve. And there is only the slow, quiet drift now. Have you ever been on the very edge of sleep, drifting through that soft grey mist between being awake and being gone, when suddenly, jolt, your leg kicks out, your body spasms, your heart gives a single, hard thump. You feel, for a split second, like you have stepped off a curb that wasn't there. You feel like you are falling. Scientists call this a hypnic jerk. It is a common, universal glitch in the human machine. Some evolutionary biologists believe it is a ghost from our distant past, a remnant of a time when we slept in trees. As your muscles relaxed too quickly, your ancient brain thought you were slipping off a branch, and it fired a panic signal to wake you up and catch you. But tonight, I want to offer you a different explanation, a physicist's explanation. Perhaps it isn't a mistake, perhaps it is a recognition. Your body is realizing that to sleep is to fall. We spend our entire lives fighting against the sensation of falling. We are terrified of it. We build railings, we wear grip-soled shoes, we fear losing our footing. We equate falling with failure, with losing control, with danger. But in the language of physics, falling is not dangerous. Falling is the most natural state of matter. When you stand upright, you are engaged in a battle. Gravity is pulling you toward the center of the earth with a relentless, constant acceleration. It wants to bring you down, but the floor is pushing back up against you. This conflict, the gravity pulling down and the floor pushing up, is what creates the sensation of weight. You feel heavy because you are resisting the pull. You feel heavy because you are fighting the fall. But imagine for a moment that the floor disappeared. Imagine you were in a skydiver's suit, stepping out of a plane at 30,000 feet. The moment your feet leave the metal, the resistance vanishes. The floor is gone. The push is gone. You are in free fall. And what do you feel? Do you feel heavy? No, you feel weightless. Albert Einstein called this his happiest thought. He realized that a person falling freely in a gravitational field does not feel their own weight. To fall is to let go of the fight. To fall is to become weightless. Falling is the ultimate release of tension. It is the moment you stop resisting the curvature of space and simply surrender to the trajectory that the universe wants you to take. Now, bring this back to your bed. You are not skydiving. You are not in danger, but you are trying to enter a state of weightlessness. When you lie down, you maximize the surface area of your body against the mattress. You spread your weight out. And as you begin to relax, as you begin to trust the bed, you stop holding yourself up. You unlock your knees. You unshrug your shoulders. You unclench your spine. You're signaling to your body, I am ready to drop. And that little jolt, that hypnic jerk, that is just your brain letting go of the last piece of resistance. It is the moment the rope snaps. It is the moment you detach from the cliff of the day and allow yourself to drift down into the canyon of the night. So, if you feel that sensation of falling tonight, do not pull back. Do not startle yourself awake. Lean into it. Falling is the fastest way to get to peace. We're afraid of falling because we're afraid of the landing. We're afraid of the crash. But here is the secret of the bedroom. There is no crash. Your mattress is a safety net that never breaks. It is catching you continuously, every single second. Think of yourself as falling in slow motion. The mattress is slowing your descent, but it is not stopping the sensation of sinking. Sinking is just falling with a safety harness. Let your mind mimic this physics. During the day, your mind is climbing. It is climbing ladders of status. It is climbing mountains of work. It is climbing over obstacles. It is constantly exerting energy to go up. But up is hard. Up requires fuel. Up requires struggle. Down is free. Down is where the gravity wants you to go. Down is where the rest is. When you stop thinking, you naturally sink. You sink past the worries of tomorrow. You sink past the conversations of today. You sink past your own identity. You fall toward the center. Center is a powerful word in physics. The center of the earth is where all the gravity points. It is the destination of all things that are tired of holding themselves up, and it is a place of stability. If you were to fall all the way to the center of the earth, you would float there. You would be suspended in the core, weightless, protected by thousands of miles of rock on all sides. Sleep is your journey to the center. It is a spiritual free fall. You are dropping the heavy luggage of your ego. You are dropping the heavy luggage of your memories. You're stripping down to just the mass of your existence and letting gravity take you home. Consider the astronauts on the International Space Station. We say they are floating. We say they are in zero gravity, but that is not technically true. There is plenty of gravity up there. The Earth is pulling on them almost as hard as it is pulling on you. So why don't they fall down? They are falling. They are falling toward the Earth at 17,000 miles per hour, but they are moving forward so fast that they miss the ground. That is what an orbit is. An orbit is a permanent, sustainable fall. It is a fall that never ends, and therefore never hurts. Look at them in the videos. They are relaxed. Their arms drift up. Their legs float. They are in a state of perpetual surrender to the fall. They are not fighting. They are not holding on. Tonight you can enter your own orbit. You can enter a state where you are falling towards sleep, but you never hit the bottom. You just drift in the dark, suspended by the geometry of the night. You have done enough thinking to keep yourself in the air. You have flapped your wings enough for one day. Retract the landing gear. Turn off the engines. Let the nose of the plane dip down. Feel the rush of relief as you give up the altitude. You don't need to be high up anymore. You don't need to have the high ground. You don't need to have the overview. It is okay to be low. It is okay to be grounded. The sensation of falling is actually the sensation of the universe holding you. It is the sensation of the curvature of space taking over the navigation. So if you feel a little dizzy, if you feel a little heavy, if you feel like the bed is tipping backwards, let it happen. You are sinking into the support structure of the world. Gravity is the most patient force in the cosmos. It waits for you. It waits for you to stop running. It waits for you to trip or to tire or to lie down. And when you finally do, it says, I have you. It wraps around you. It pulls you into the embrace of the planet. You're safe to fall now. The darkness is soft. The bottom is cushioned. The direction is correct. Down and down and down. Falling feels like rest because falling is the absence of effort, and you are done with effort, so fall.